Hello and welcome to the RealTime Fantasy Sports Show. I'm Jeff Paur, senior writer for RealTime Fantasy Sports, and this is my son, Henry Paur.
Hi.
And on today's RealTime Fantasy Sports Show, we're going to preview the wide receiver position for the coming year. Before I get to that, though, I did want to mention, go to rtsports.com, sign up for one of our leagues today. We have all sorts of leagues going off. Our big fantasy championship is back this year. $300,000 grand prize. We have best ball leagues. We have new dime best ball leagues. All sorts of drafts going off every night. Go to rtsports.com. Sign up for a league today. Henry, let's dive into this wide receiver preview for 2020. You ready for it?
Yeah.
First off, I want to give you my thoughts on the position. I really think the receiver position is super deep this year. Really, a lot of great talent. It's normally deep every year, but this year I feel like it's as deep as ever. A lot of players ready to emerge in the second or third year of their seasons in the NFL. I think there's some big-time talents out there, some good rookies as well. So I feel pretty good. I want to get a number one receiver on my roster, but after that, I might wait on the position a little bit and load up on the receiver, the running back spot early in drafts, and then hit the receiver position after that. So I'm going to look to get a top 10 receiver on my roster, but after that, I might wait a couple rounds, really go running back heavy, because of the depth of the receiver position this year. A lot of great options out there. So that's my strategy. It's something you might want to think about employing. And we're going to tell you all about some different guys for the coming year. We got some different debates on what to do here. So let's just jump right into it. Okay, Henry?
Yeah.
I talked about second-year receivers. So I want to get your thoughts, Henry, on who do you like the most out of some of these second-year guys? A lot of guys ready for breakout seasons. You got A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, and Deebo Samuel. Unfortunately, Samuel broke his foot. News came out yesterday at the time of this taping, so he might miss a few games early in the year. Probably want to knock him off this list. But out of those other guys, who do you like the best, Henry?
I like DK Metcalf. I think he's going to be the number one receiver in Seattle. He's going to get a ton of looks, and he's a great QB throwing to him. I think he's going to have a great year.
I like Metcalf, too. Definitely been one of my targets this year. I favor A.J. Brown just a slight more than Metcalf, though, for the coming year. Brown topped 1,000 yards his rookie season, caught just 52 passes, though. So he made a lot of big plays with his chances. He was 22nd overall in fantasy receiver scoring. I think his numbers will go up a little bit. His targets will go up with Ryan Tannehill starting from day one. So I like Brown just a tad more. I think his numbers might be a little bit better than his rookie year. Okay, Henry, Tampa Bay. This has been a big topic this offseason. A lot of stuff going on there with Tom Brady signing, and then they got Gronk. So how about these two receivers, though? Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. What's your expectations for these guys? Bless you.
I think they both will have great years, but I'm a little worried with targets with Gronk there now, but I think they're both going to have a great years. They're going to be great receivers.
Okay, for me, I think Godwin could see his numbers take a little bit of a step back. I worry a little bit with Winston not there. Winston kind of liked to take a lot of chances, throw the ball deep downfield. I'm not sure Brady's going to do that. I still think Godwin's going to be good, but I would expect his numbers to regress a little bit. Evans, on the other hand, he was 16th overall in fantasy receiver scoring last year. Remember, he missed 3 games, though, and he was still 16th overall, so I might like him a little bit more than Godwin for the price tag, because I think Evans could be pretty good, and I think he's the type of receiver that Brady is going to look at, you know, that reliable target. So for me, I might, if I had to pick one of the two, I might take Evans because of the price tag at this point. I'm not sure Godwin lives up to his numbers from last year. All right, next question for you, Henry. Middle round targets. I got a couple for you, so I'll give you my first one. I really like Tyler Boyd this year. He had a second straight 1,000-yard season last year, was 17th overall in fantasy receiver scoring, set career highs in receptions, yards. He had 4 100-yard games, 2 double-digit performances in terms of receptions as well. I know A.J. Green was gone last year, much of the year, so that led to more numbers for Boyd, but I really think Boyd's a receiver to own in this offense. I think he's a go-to target. Now they have Joe Burrow as their quarterback, much better situation than last year. So I think Boyd has great value in the middle rounds of drafts. Definitely a guy I'm targeting. How about you?
I like Deontay Johnson. Johnson is probably the most consistent receiver for the Steelers his rookie season. He found a way into the starting lineup and got plenty of chances, finishing with 92 targets. And he did with poor quarterback play much of the season. And things look even better for him this year with Ben Roethlisberger starting.
I like that. I like Deontay Johnson. Another guy I like in the middle rounds, Emmanuel Sanders. I know he's getting older, moves to New Orleans, though, gives that team a legit number 2 receiver opposite Michael Thomas. This has not been the case in many, many years. New Orleans always been searching for that number 2 guy. Now they have Sanders. I think he can rebound from last couple seasons when he hasn't done a whole lot. He's still been just okay in recent years, but I think this move's a great one for him, and I've been looking at getting Sanders in a lot of my drafts in the middle rounds. All right, Henry, how about on the flip side? Guys you're avoiding, I'll give you my first one, okay. Tyler Lockett. You talked about DK Metcalf, how you like him a lot. I know Lockett set career highs last year, but even with that said, look at his numbers late in the year. He had 5 of his last 7 games with fewer than double-digit fantasy points. So his numbers went down as DK Metcalf's stock went up. So despite Lockett having a breakout year, his best season to date, his numbers dipped at the end of last year when Metcalf was a bigger part of the offense. That's a concern for me. I'm just not sure Lockett's worth the price at this point in fantasy drafts. How about a guy you're avoiding, Henry?
Julian Edelman. There's no Tom Brady, which is a huge concern for Edelman. He should still lead the team in targets. I'm just not sure that he might play well this year. And he's 34 years old, so. Yeah,
34 years old. That's a big concern. Doesn't have Tom Brady. You just don't know what's going to happen with Edelman. Another guy I'm avoiding, you talked about a guy on this team as well, Deontay Johnson, with a player you're targeting. So I'm avoiding Juju Smith-Schuster in Pittsburgh. He had a terrible year last year. I know Ben Roethlisberger wasn't there most of the year, but still, his numbers were way down. Johnson emerged as maybe the go-to target in that offense. And Smith-Schuster, you still have to pay a pretty good price to get him. I just think he has too many question marks. I was not impressed with his play last year. Big concern for me going forward. So I'm just going to avoid him. Let somebody else take Smith-Schuster because he's going as a middle tier number 2 fantasy receiver, and I think that's a risk for him. Okay, Henry, rookies. How about a rookie that you like this year? Who do you think leads the rookies in receiving this year?
I like Justin Jefferson. He replaces Stephon Diggs for the Vikings. He should get a lot of work out of the slot. I think he's a great fit for that offense.
I do. I like Jefferson a lot too. I have 2 guys really close that I think could lead the way in receiving this year, Denzel Mims or Jerry Jeudy. I think this is a tough call for me. I like Jefferson a lot too, but Mims really intrigues me. I think he could really emerge as the number 1 target in that passing game for New York. They just have Brashad Perryman as the big signee this offseason, but still, he's not a sure thing. I like Mims. I think he's going to have a big rookie year. Jeudy, too, really talented player. I think he might be the most talented receiver in the rookie class. Really can do it all, runs routes well, can make the play deep in the passing game as well. Just my one concern with him is Courtland Sutton. A little more to compete with for targets. I still think Judy's going to have a great year. I think it'll be a close call between Mims and Jeudy for top rookie fantasy receiver. Okay, Henry, let's do who would you rather have. I'll give you 2 players, 2 receivers that are going in similar spots in drafts right now. Their ADPs are very similar. I'm going to give you those players, and you tell me which one you would rather have. All right, T.Y. Hilton or Stephon Diggs?
I like T.Y. Hilton. He has not much to compete with in Indianapolis, and he has Phillip Rivers now, which is a huge plus. I think he's going to have a great year.
I like Hilton, too, a little more than Diggs. I'm a little bit worried about Josh Allen, airing it out as often as Indianapolis might. I think Hilton, like you said, not a ton of competition. Michael Pittman's there now. I think that he could be a decent player for Indianapolis, but I still think Hilton will lead that team in targets in the passing game. Phillip Rivers is a plus, like you said. So I like Hilton a little more. I would definitely give him the nod over Diggs. All right, next one, Kenny Golladay or Courtland Sutton. These are 2 receivers that are young, ready to, they had big years last year. Maybe they could take it another step forward this year. A lot of people think they're both top 10 options. Which one do you like of the 2?
I like Kenny Golladay. Sutton has a lot more to compete with in Denver. And Golladay had a breakout season last year, even with Stafford gone. So,
yeah, I like Golladay too, a little more than Sutton. I do like Sutton, I think, more than most. I loved his play last year, especially when Drew Lock was in the lineup. But Golladay was just enormous for Detroit. And like you said, Stafford didn't even start all year, and he still had a huge year. I think Golladay has the potential to be a top 5 fantasy receiver. I think he's getting overlooked a little bit right now in drafts, not getting the love that he should to go earlier. All right, Henry, couple veterans now. So on the flip side, we talked about Galladay and Sutton. These are two guys that were younger, ready to emerge. How about some veterans? Adam Thielen or Allen Robinson?
I like Allen Robinson. Vikings could be more run-heavy this year. And Robinson is coming off a huge year. And if Nick Foles starts, I think that's an even bigger plus for him. So, yeah.
I like Robinson, too. We've agreed on everything so far, Henry. I guess that's good. Probably doesn't make for good viewing or listening. But I agree, though. I like Robinson a lot this year. And I think Nick Foles, if he starts, that could be even better. I think Thielen's going to have a good year. He's going to do better than he did last year. It's kind of nice that he doesn't have Stephon Diggs there anymore. But I just think Robinson has a little higher ceiling in my view, so that's why I give him the nod. I think this one will be really close, so probably the closest of all the ones we've talked about so far. All right, last one, Henry. So a couple guys that have been superstars in the past, been pretty good. One guy that disappointed last year, another guy that had probably a career season in Dallas. So Odell Beckham, Amari Cooper. Which one do you want out of those two?
I like Odell Beckham. The Cowboys have a lot of mouths to feed in their offense. And Cooper could be a little more hit or miss this year. And Beckham is a super talented receiver. I think he's going to have a great year.
All right. I like Beckham too. I think most people, though, Henry, will disagree with us and probably favor Cooper a little bit here because he might be a little more consistent. But like you said, I'm really worried about all the options in Dallas this year. They have CeeDee Lamb now, Michael Gallup, Ezekiel Elliott. That's a lot of mouths to feed, like you said, Henry. I like Beckham. I just think he's ready to rebound this year. Has a lot to prove. A lot of people are down on him, and we know how talented he is. He could be the most talented receiver in football.
Yeah.
Really, he's super, super talented, great player. I think he's ready to have a much better year. A great bounce-back candidate, in my view. All right, Henry, that's the receiver position.
Yeah.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah.
All right. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel as well. Like the video on YouTube, or if you're listening to it on the podcast, like and subscribe to that as well. We appreciate it. Give us a good review. And don't forget to tune in next time. We'll hit the tight end position. Also, very excited. We're doing a big champions draft on RealTime Fantasy Sports. I do this every year. I take the best players on our site, and we hold a draft and then see who comes out as a winner. This year, we're going to be doing a Zoom call and taping it, getting everybody's thoughts as the draft, as it goes on. I'm very excited about that. So that's going to be our next video on the site. So be looking for that next week. Very excited about that. And also don't forget to go to rtsports.com, sign up for a league tonight. We have leagues going off every night on RealTime Fantasy Sports. All right, this has been Jeff Paur, senior writer for RealTime Fantasy Sports. And
I'm Henry Paur.
Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.